Okay. Before I begin, I know what some of you are thinking based on that crazy montage you saw, another fanboy Sebenza video. But I promise I'll try to stay away from the fanboy stuff and instead make an honest opinion of 5 years of ownership with the Sebenza 21. So don't get angry, sit back and watch the whole thing, as every piece of this video will reveal a little bit more. Leave a comment after, and I welcome opinions and individuality as long as you allow me to do the same. And what I'm going to express in this video today is my opinion on the Sebenza 21, but the real question you're probably all asking is it still viable in today's market? So meet Chris Reeve, native to South Africa, an ex-veteran in the South African Army, off-road motorcycle racer, and a process-driven knife maker and enthusiast later on. I could literally do a 3-part series on the man's history, along with all the historical landmarks in the knife world and amazing collaborations. But for time's sakes, let's just move on, as this is probably going to be a long one. Some have described Chris as tireless, process-driven, pushing the envelope of manufacturing perfection, and frankly almost too strict. I believe that success of this brand and the trust that it's developed with the knife community over the years have not developed overnight. And some of these principles that are personality traits of Chris's kind of flow into the knife design, and you start understanding the philosophy behind the Sebenza. Basically why the knife is made the way it is. It's dependable anywhere, and it doesn't take major know-how to service or maintain. Chris will clearly tell you in detail how to care for your knife in your package, and also provides the tool for disassembly along with lubricant and other stuff. I've heard the limited lifetime warranty also seems to be superior over other manufacturers from other customer testimonials. I've even heard and seen of drastic things like a full reblade, probably thanks to the pivot design and the aerospace tolerances in the manufacturing process. Chris is able to do this, and most manufacturers won't do that. But hence, I'm sure it's a case-by-case basis. The Sebenza started out with high-end steel from the beginning, and remember now we're going way back, starting out with ATS 34 and then moving on to BG 42. Then in 2001, Chris developed CPM S30V with collaboration of Crucible Steel, and it's still known as a fairly high-performance steel today. Chris then tried to get more out of steel what he couldn't get out of S30 and developed CPM S35VN along with Crucible again, jumping the knife forward in design and materials. And this all began in 2012. And let's face it, S35 is even more successful than S30 because it's even more of a jack of all trades. Meet the blade. The Sebenza was introduced in 1989. Later on, Chris moved to the United States in Boise, Idaho, and started producing the Sebenza in 1991, and 1993 became a fully established business. I almost feel like the Sebenza doesn't need any introduction, especially the 21 being around for 10 years and only being discontinued in 2019. Now, the 31 carries the torch. The Sebenza was originally marketed to the tactical community in a lot of the early 90s magazines, but now Chris wanted to clarify that he prefers his knife not to be associated as a weapon. Instead, as the name implies, it's a working tool above all. As a durable daily companion, Chris says the Sebenza won't let you down no matter what environment you're in. The design and materials have been chosen to be as a simple mechanism and also with durability in mind. The takedown process is very easy. The hardware is all matched in size and the tool is provided for you. I also can describe the Sebenza as slightly elegant with that beautiful blade profile and nicely crowned spine. Yet, it still retains functionality as its overall priority over aesthetics. And this is sort of where your money goes. Things like time spent on tight tolerances, tooling costs, and time spent on every knife from start to finish, even down to the attention with the packaging that's included. Whether you like the product or not, no one disagrees that the Sebenza is well made. Today, the knife market is ever so expanding and becoming ever so more integrated and even more worldwide. So what does that mean for the Sebenza? Is it out of date? I don't think so. When it comes down to doing what a knife does, which is basically cut things, I think the Sebenza still does this very well due to its very tall hollow grind and the acute point. There are improvements in the 31 in design, but I'm not going to go over those in this video. There are plenty of other videos on this resource and Sebenzas in general. The Sebenza carries very well as a daily user. In its early days, features like a pocket clip were fairly uncommon, to tell you the truth. Now on this one, I have a zirconium clip by Rip's Garage, and I'll admit it, I put this one on for styling, not really for function. And that's just due to the zirconium being a little bit more fragile than titanium. The clip that comes with the knife has a bent spring style right in the middle of the clip. And I like this because it's simple and it works really well. Best of all, you can adjust the tension with just a little bit of pressure right in the center where the spring area is. And then if that doesn't suit you, it also comes with a very nice high-end leather slip, which I've used many times wearing slacks. There are many knives out there that do outperform the Sebenza in the carry department, not only in the clip, but also in the weight. The weight can be subjective. Some like something that feels substantial in the hand, and the Sebenza does very well at this. Others prefer lightning pockets and lightweight construction, and this perspective, the Sebenza doesn't score very high, honestly. But nonetheless, the Sebenza carries just fine, and it's got a lot of retention in the pocket. So how does it open and close? Okay, so this is where the Sebenza gets a little bit lower on the points. Oh my god, I know I said it. But I found the Sebenza rather difficult to deploy when I first got mine, and I kept trying to flick the darn thing open. Now, according to Chris, his knives aren't designed to be flicked open, but rather rolled open like butter, spread over a muffin. Over time, they are known to break in and smoothen out even more, and I've taken mine a step further by polishing the washers. Did this about 2 months after ownership, and I don't regret it, although I don't condone it either. That's up to you and Chris and your warranty. But as for me, I can flick my knife open now, and I like it. For some comparison, here's a Sebenza Small from a little bit later production time, and as you can see, this is the action you should expect when you buy a brand new Sebenza 21. So how is the fitment and finish work? It's really hard for me to criticize the Sebenza in the fit and finish department. The Sebenza retains a simple construction, 2 slabs of high-grade titanium, and some hardened steel hardware in uniform tool size. The standard Sebenza comes in a plain form with a working finish, but this one's a notch above with the CGG or computer-generated graphics using a CNC machine. This version is nicknamed the Tank, and I love it. There are countless versions of different graphics, including dressing them up in different stones like jewelry for your belly button. You can see quite a bit of detail and change in textures and fine cuts, making the knife look like it's made from metal plates, like an old army tank. It may not be a custom, but it's personalized, and the blade is also very nicely finished. I'm not commonly a fan of belt satin finish, but I will say the Sebenza has one of my favorites done. It's kind of like the icing on the cake when you feel the spine on the top of the blade. It's smooth and it follows the whole length of the blade. Let's do the wrap up. So overall, the ergonomics are excellent on the Sebenza 21. The handle is comfortable, all nicely chamfered around the edges, and due to its neutral shape, it works well in many versatile grips. The knife, yet being simple, is still very secure in the hand. And at its price range, I still feel like the Sebenza is viable in today's market. And I feel like the legacy will still continue. Now, if you want to touch a fancy, Chris also offers these in various Damascus patterns to customize and personalize them even more. So let's talk about Chris and Sebenzas. Why are they still viable? Well, I still feel that when it comes to a cutting tool, the Sebenza still does this just as well as anything else. And when it comes to a production setting and building a quality knife that works every time, it's kind of hard to beat Chris in my opinion. With 5 years of ownership, the Sebenza's never let me down. It's done everything it's advertised to do and then some. It's been easy to maintain. It sharpens up very easily with a strop even. It's easy to take apart and clean. And you can see the knife is still strong and sturdy to this day, just like when I got it. So let's move on to a tabletop. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Knife Box channel. So hope you enjoyed the chat about the Sebenza 21. I really feel like it's a viable knife still in today's market. And the 31 is definitely catching my eye. I think I might end up buying a Damascus version at some point. But this one is just absolutely fantastic. And it's just not going to leave my collection. It's followed me all these years and has given me literally some of the greatest service out of any knives that I've ever owned. So can't say enough about the Sebenza 21. So for some size reference here, I also brought out the small one. This is more like a 2016, 2015 production. This one is a 2020 production. So you can see kind of the size difference, but they're both 21s. I kind of noticed some slight manufacturing differences between something so new and old. But yeah. Now this one's got the millet clip on it. This one here has the Rips Garage clip on it in zirconium. Just thought it'd match the Sebenza overall nicely. But there's lots of clip options. You can get these in Damascus, you can get them in carbon fiber, micarta inserts, all kinds of stuff. Here's the factory clip, which I'd mentioned in the video I really like because you can actually bend it very easily and adjust it to your likings. And also, if you like, and I've used this many times when I wear slacks, you could just put it in the pouch and just slip it in your pocket and go. So I really like that. As far as the contents of a package, this one came in a different package because it's an older model, which I have, but I brought out the more current packaging here. You can see this lunar landing here, January 2020. Yeah, it just comes with all kinds of lubricant, tools, pretty much everything you need. So I really like the box and packaging that the Chris Reeve knives come in now. A lot easier to manage than the older ones. So let's do some size comparisons. So I brought an XM18 3-inch here for size reference. Here's the 24, and I'm sorry, the 18 3.5-inch, and here's the 24 right here. So you can kind of see where the Sebenza is. It's not a small knife by any means. Just a huge fan of the way this thing carries and the way it looks too. I mean, come on. So now the next one that I'm gonna kind of bring out for you guys is some fancier stuff, just for some eye candy. So here is the Holt Spectre here. Very popular one nowadays, the Skiff-made Blades Drifter. I did a video on this a while back that got deleted, but we'll do another one on this beautiful piece. So kind of the EDC size that I like is these two right here. The Sebenza is just slightly larger than that, and it starts to cross into that, you know, scarier knife territory. But I think the Sebenza is still not very threatening looking in a sense. It's still kind of a knife that I don't feel too afraid of to carry to work. It's definitely not a compact knife. This is more like what I would consider a nice little compact knife to kind of carry around. So compared to that, the Sebenza is quite large. Now, kind of bring something out fancy and a little bit more comparable in size. This Rockstead here has kind of a very similar size. So they're almost identical, actually. And I actually think a Rockstead is a great example to bring out because these kind of are in the same theory in the way that they're made, like the principle behind the philosophy of use and kind of the construction and the overall like idea of making like a really high-end perfected knife. They are kind of in two different production realms. This is a $1,500 production knife. If this is a $485 production knife, so big difference, not in the same wheelhouse by any means, but kind of the same, you know, larger folder, very high-end made, very tough but simple with washers and so on and so forth. So probably another reason why I love carrying this Rockstead Higo 2. Anyways, so, but yeah, Sebenza is absolutely fantastic. Now, I showed the action kind of off in the video a little bit. I think in person it's probably a little easier to show kind of the action that you're going to expect from a knife, because you guys can see mine is really nicely worn in. So, you know, as far as mine, I've polished the washers and it kind of like flicks out like a normal modern knife with very little effort. I can even kind of shake it closed. What you should expect if you buy a brand new one is it still flicks open, but it's just got more of like a continuous friction going on. So out of the box, brand new, they're more designed to be rolled open. That's basically what Chris says. He doesn't like you slamming them on the stop pin, but I mean, you could still manage it if you want. Doing too much of that might hurt your thumb, but that should give you a kind of a rough idea of the action you're gonna get new out of the box with the Sebenza 21. Because this guy here can be, you know, just a little bit deceiving as far as how easy it just kind of flings out. Almost like a flipper, you know, like there is really not much difference in the speed of deployment with mine now. So anyways, that is today's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video on the Sebenza 21. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and please leave comments, you know. The Sebenza is not for everyone, I'm sure, but it's a knife that I think really deserves a lot of respect and still a lot of consideration. The price is right, especially in today's market. I mean, 400, 500 bucks is about right for a production knife. But after 5 years and no issues and just lots of performance and enjoyment, I just think that I wanted to let everybody know that it's just a really good recommendation still, even though it's an old design. So anyways, hope that's enlightening to you, and we'll see you guys on the next one.